time now for another in our series of conversations, and today it's Aimee Malcolm. Aimee's a recent joiner to the Honourable Company and someone who's been involved in the third sector for quite a few years now. Well, at the moment, Aimee is the ambassador and fundraiser for the Canal Trust in Stroud, which is, of course, as I'm sure you're familiar with, the focus of a multi-million-pound heritage restoration project, which in fact the Honourable Company visited last summer. Aimee was our very capable guide, I should say. We had a lovely evening, didn't we?
We did have a lovely evening. You're very flattering, Mark. Yes, we had a great evening. We came along and everybody walked along the canal, saw the A38 bridges, and then walked up to Occupation Bridge and looked over the canal to the orchard. Those who were there that evening will remember I got the name of the bridge wrong.
Oh, did you? Okay, I didn't remember that. But the Froome Bridge area on the A38 is, I'm sure, somewhere that people will be familiar with. But that last year, that was the sort of the major engineering project, wasn't it? You know, making that new roundabout effectively and digging the canal under it. Yeah,
absolutely. And it's award winning now. We won 2 awards. We won the People's Choice Award for the Institute of Civil Engineers and also the best build under 8 million, the whole of the South West. So 2 brand new road bridges, and we've dug a new canal channel right through the centre of the A38 A419 roundabout. A huge project that was funded by National Highways and the brilliant construction team that we had do the work, and Griffiths. They completed the work through COVID, so they only stopped work for 1 week in that terrible March, fateful March, to sort of reconvene and get everything sorted. We had a few issues with suppliers, but really it happened on time and within budget, within expected budget. So a superb project that Cotswold Canals Trust volunteers fundraised for years and years and years, and National Highways came through brilliantly.
I mean, that must be a massive challenge for you guys. I mean, in a nutshell, what you're trying to achieve here is taking the old canal from, is it Lechlade, all the way through under the Cotswolds, down the Stroud Valley, and connecting it up at with the Gloucester Sharpness Canal at...
that's correct, yeah, at Saul Junction.
Saul Junction, that's the place. Yeah. I mean, it's a fantastically ambitious project, but it, you know, very firmly, and this is where I think your presence on the Arts and Heritage Committee helps. It's a heritage project for Gloucestershire, which I think is massively ambitious.
Absolutely. So we're transforming a completely derelict industrial heritage asset for the county of Gloucestershire and Wiltshire. Let's not forget Wiltshire and Oxfordshire as well. We've done pockets of work all the way from Lechlade all the way into Stroud, and now we are just about to complete our first section. So there's 3 sections, and section 1, which is Thrupp to Saul Junction, will be complete by 2025. Fantastic.
Okay. And that's, I mean, you're obviously not doing this completely on your own. I mean, you're in a strategic partnership. I'm not sure that's the right phrase to use, with the district council, Stroud District Council. So, you know, because, you know, having a vibrant canal through the town centre will lift the whole place. I mean, one can see it at Ebley, actually, with the, you know, the council offices there and a couple of cafes and a gym. It's quite sort of a buzzy little place, isn't it?
Well, the businesses that are popping up all the way along the canal corridor are extraordinary. Just on the section we're restoring at the moment, which goes from Stonehouse out to Saul, we're giving the opportunity to the community to make better use of 8 brownfield sites. So that were those that were derelict. We're creating businesses. I think we had a big economic survey done of the work in order to support the National Lottery Heritage Fund bid, which was successful. And the estimate is that we're bringing an inward investment into the county of around 200 million, if you include the rural bit that we're doing now and the urban bit that we've already done.
Yeah.
So in terms of economic development, that's what this project is bringing in. For a £26.5 million project, that seems to be pretty good value to me. And then if you then add on the community health and well-being impacts that are huge through lockdown, it was one of the major pieces of our community there. People could get out and about on the canal and get some fresh air, walk the dog, go out as family during lockdown. It's been an incredible benefit to the community. And then also that transformation, that like you were talking about, the heritage transformation, we're taking it from an industrial heritage area, canal corridor, into a brand new, vibrant tourist and tourism but benefiting economically. So all of those canal boats that will come in from Severn down the Gloucester and Sharpness Canal, all the way from 2,500 waterway network. The waterway network from across the UK will be coming to visit us in this tiny little area. It's phenomenal. The whole project's phenomenal.
Good. So
but yes, you're right. In partnership.
In partnership, yes. Okay. So let's think about how you actually go about raising. You mentioned the Heritage Lottery Fund. I mean, you know, you've got volunteers who are doing stuff like so many other charities. You've got a lot of volunteers helping to raise money. But I mean, it's how does it work? It's a fundraiser. How does it actually work in terms of raising money going forward and on a day-to-day basis?
So on a day-to-day basis, we the charity, I think we've raised around 50 million with our partners since we started. The majority of that has been in the last couple of decades where we've had that momentum, and it's only happened in that with that strength of support as a result of the partnerships that we have. So we have a strategic partnership with Gloucestershire County Council, Stroud District Council, the canal owners, the proprietors, Stroud Valleys Canal Company and the Company of Proprietors, having the expertise of organisations who are delivering huge pieces of work for the partnership, Gloucester Wildlife Trust and Stroud Valleys Projects. So you have all this huge partnership which gives real credence to the work, and big funders like the Heritage Lottery Fund, Garfield Weston, they are very supportive of that community power where we're coming together to do something brilliant. And not only have we got those strategic partners, those national funders, we've also got 7,000 members and 800 active volunteers just in our charity alone. I'm not talking about the rest of the partnership, just in our charity. And those 7,500 members give of their time, of their expertise, and they give to every single appeal. They are so generous. And they all pay subs and get their magazine, The Tro.
The Tro, yeah.
So, sorry, a bit of back to front branding. But so it is the power in the community of this project underpins the ability to fundraise. Okay.
So I'm sure this is a question you've been asked millions of times before and probably hate it. When is it going to be finished?
Well, I'm still sticking with by 2025.
Okay, that's the Thrupp to Saul bit. But what about the next bit? You know, linking up with the Thames. You know, that's the. I mean, that's the sort of thing, isn't it? That's that's why it was built in the first place, wasn't it? It was to shorten that journey. You know.
Yeah, absolutely. So the Thames and Severn opened slightly later than Stroud Water Navigation. So you have the two canals. You have the Stroud Water Navigation, which came into the mill corridor in Stroud, the Stroud Valley.
Yeah.
And then Brimscombe Port was the junction between the two. And then you have the Chalford Rise, the Sapton Tunnel, you have the Summit area, and then you go out to the Thames. Now, most of that, which is the Thames and Severn actually starts at Wallbridge Upper Lock in Stroud.
Okay.
I don't know if anybody knows that. So that's the junction between the two, the official junction. But Thames and Severn is all on private land. So that's a longer story. It needs a lot more conversations to happen. On Wednesday next week, Mark, I don't want to time limit this particular webinar, but on Wednesday the 9th, this week, Wednesday the 9th, we are going to be delivering a webinar about the water transfer project, so Cotswold Canals Water Transfer Project. So if anybody's interested to see how that piece of work joins up with what we're doing now, that's the most likely thing that will happen that will bring about the restoration of the whole canal.
But work in progress, obviously.
It's work in progress. I can't answer the question.
I know you can't, which is why I asked you.
I'm not going to be alive.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, it's not going to happen in my lifetime.
Oh, I hope so. Oh well.
No.
So, okay, well let's I know you won't like this. Let's talk a little bit about you, can we? Because you've been doing this job for a few years now. Before that, you worked for the Nelson Trust, also in Stroud. Was that in a similar sort of fundraisery ambassador role?
Yeah, so I led the fundraising and communications team for Nelson Trust, which was an absolute honour. And we did an awful lot of work on commissioning services for people who are in desperate need. We opened a new women's centre in my time there in Bridgewater, in Somerset. We fundraised for salaries, we fundraised for projects. We had a great programme that ran from the prison. We had, so now Nelson Trust's got 3 women's centres, but they're also delivering services across the whole of the Southwest. Now, I can't take any credit for that. They won a tender for delivering services for trauma-informed services for women in need across the whole of the Southwest. So this is one tiny little local charity that has grown in the time that it since its first flag in the ground, which was the old Nelson pub on Brimscombe Hill. Anybody knows the old Nelson pub?
Probably.
That's the first building. That's why the charity is called Nelson. And then from there, it is now one of the most important charities delivering trauma-informed services in the country. And it is looked upon. So it's one of the best exports of this small town. And it was a real honour to work for them.
And let's go further back, can we, Amy? Because my understanding is that your degree was in the technical side of theatre. So, you know, it's quite a leap and a jump from, you know, the most important, very important part of theatre, obviously, you know, what happens behind the scenes, you know, to what you're doing now.
I mean, it could be considered a big leap. I wasn't very good at school, to be honest, Mark, and my mum decided I was going to go and work in an industry that she liked, and she built a theatre, so she knew lots of people that would put up with her sort of like horrible teenage daughter, and I started a career, and I was all right at it, and I'm very practical. I'm not academic, I'm very practical, kinesthetic learner. And I'm quite dyslexic, so it sort of worked for me as a very practical industry to grow up in, and I think that's what happened in that industry. I learned to work with people. I learned about myself in the world that we live in. I left home when I was 18, went off to Blackpool to the Grand Theatre. My first ever job was follow spotting Linda Lusardi, Billy Pearce and the Grumbleweeds in Blackpool Grand. Gosh. So it's theatre's in my blood.
Yeah, and we haven't got the time, unfortunately, and we must mention your mother, who built a theatre and ran it for many years. Yeah,
over 30 years. It's actually just passing the 50, nearly up to 50 years as well. It's the only thing that's ever closed its doors is COVID.
Where is it?
Chipping Norton.
Chipping Norton, fantastic.
Which is just over the border in Oxfordshire.
Oh, we let them in, which is where you grew up, I believe. Okay, so a couple more questions from me. Why did you join the Honourable Company? What was in it? What was in it for you, really? Because without being sexist, you are one of the younger members, I hasten to add.
Yeah,
I
I am.
Yeah.
I am incredible. So, as you mentioned earlier, I've worked in community and charity sector for a very long time. It's always, third sector has been my home, always. Yeah. Since I've been in Gloucestershire, I have known the Honourable Company for the good work that they do, very quietly and very unassuming. Now, a lot of the people that I worked with Nelson Trust, some of the trustees and the fundraising committee, yourself, I met you many years ago at a really brilliant event at Gloucester Cathedral. And I think some of the best people doing more for our community without wanting anything back for it are in the Honourable Company. And I'm not a work to live, I'm a live to work. And so I volunteer time, and I think everybody should volunteer. I think everybody should give something back to the community in which they live. I'm a trustee of a fantastic charity called Infobuzz, which is connected to Young Gloucester. And I just think we should all give something back, and the Honourable Company is a way to do that.
Good. Okay, thank you. And finally, Amy, if anybody's been inspired about what you guys are doing, what's the best way of getting in touch, either personally or maybe with a sort of general office type thing?
So yeah, I'm contactable at the office, which is at Cotswold Canals Trust office, head office in Stroud. You can get all of our numbers and all of our details on the website, which is cotswoldcanals.org.
Okay, lovely. Thank you very much. Nice to talk to you today.
Thanks for having me, Mark.